Today I'm going to take you on a little tour of my garage gym. I'm always curious to see what others have in their home gyms. So here's a little insight of what's in mine. So I've just got a two-car garage here. As I walk in, the main workout area is over here with these horse mats, which I've gotten from a local Tractor Supply store. You'll find these in CrossFit gyms. Got a pull-up bar from Rogue. Got a couple rings. Use these for ring rows, lower muscle ups, ring dips. Got a whole bunch of barbell plates here. A couple sets of 10s, 15s, 25s, and then a bunch of blue 45-pound plates. These are all bumper plates, so okay to drop from overhead onto the mats without damaging the floors. I like this this plate holder. Saves me on some ground space, but ideally probably have these up, pinned up against the wall, but I'm just too lazy. I've also got two barbell clips, two 5-pound plates, two 2.5-pound plates, and two 1.25-pound plates. These come in really useful for anything overhead. Got my nice big powerful fan. Found this, I saw this for the first time at a plant store, and it makes a world of a difference for the heat here in Austin, as well as keeping the mosquitoes away from me, because I always get bit by mosquitoes. I've also got this little sheet right here, which I also picked up from Home Depot. This is what I use to kick up against the wall. As you can kind of see, I've kind of beat it up a little bit for doing handstand holds or handstand push-ups. That way, don't damage the wall too much. I've got a nice bench right here. Can do most of the work. If I need to do something inclined, I'll stack up some plates and stick one end of the bench onto the plates. On this side, I've got some cardio machines. I've got a Concept 2 rower, as well as a Rogue Echo bike. I've also got a little fan guard here for the couple months it's cold in Austin to prevent the air from blowing into my face and freezing. But otherwise, during the hotter months, it feels really nice. Got a box, 3 heights here, 20-inch, 24-inch, and 30-inch, depending on what side I place it on. And then in the corner over here, I've just got 2 barbells and 2 PVC pipes. PVC pipes I picked up from Home Depot and had them cut it up into 2 parts. Use that for mobility or keeping balance as I'm doing some exercises. And then I've got a Rogue, I think this is Ohio bar. It's a stainless steel bar. And then I've also got, it's a 45-pound bar, and then I've also got a 15-pound training bar. That way for some movements for myself as well as for Ruthva, we can kind of choose the barbell based on what we're doing. Gives us some more flexibility. The only thing about the garage, the mats over here, is that I have to move this mat back and forth, so that way I can have some space in the car for space in the garage for my car. Got a little bucket here that I will use for mopping the mats over there. And then over here in the corner, I've got a whole bunch of things. I've got kettlebells, got a 70-pounder, 53-pounder, 35. Just picked up this 44-pounder. Got a 15-pounder back over here. And then for dumbbells, got 2 pink 5-pounders, got 2 10-pounders, 2 20-pounders, 2 35s, 2 50s, and 60s. I thought about getting an adjustable dumbbell set, which would be really nice, but I want to be able to drop the dumbbell from onto the mats, and I was kind of afraid of doing that with an adjustable dumbbell set. Obviously not just slamming the dumbbells into the ground, but I just wanted to be able to take some accidental slip-ups. I've also got 100-pound sandbag here. This is fun to use, and I'll set up these mats to have underneath the sandbag to kind of save my knuckles from scraping into the ground or scraping into the mat. So those mats come in useful as well as for stretches. I've got 2 parallel bars. I've also got dumbbell collars here, 1.5 pounds. Gives me a little flexibility, tries to add some weights so I can make, for example, the 35 pounders add 3 pounds on one of those for 38 pounds. I've got a slam ball. I don't really use that very much. I can use that for carries or, as I mentioned, slam balls. Over here in this basket, I've got tape. This comes in really useful for barbell cycling movements or Olympic weightlifting movements, as well as for some dumbbell movements like dumbbell snatches, where, as you can kind of see right here, I didn't put tape on my thumb, so it kind of beat up my thumb. I've got some cones. I'll use this to set up for carries or shuttle runs outside. That's really the only running I'll do outside. Otherwise, I'll sub it out for the rowing or for the rower or for the bike. I can't do long distance runs just because my neighborhood's really small and pretty hilly. So I'll do shuttle runs, but nothing really longer than 400 meters. I've got an RX Smart Gear jump rope. I've got a couple of wrist wraps in here. I'm working on my wrist mobility and wrist strength, so I really only need these for heavy overhead squats, which can put pressure on my left wrist, but I'm slowly starting not to need that anymore. No, don't use that. Got a little band for lateral step overs, or can't remember what it's called, but to hit the glutes. Good old lacrosse ball. Got a couple gymnastics grips here. I really only use it for some metcons, for some metabolic conditioning, where I am doing kipping toes to bar, kipping pull-ups. Otherwise, for most of the strict movements on the pull-up bar, I just do that barehanded, but I will chalk up. And then lastly, over here, I've got a weight belt, which I'll use for weighted pull-ups or weighted dips. Got a couple bands. I could probably use a couple more of varying resistance. I've got a heavy jump rope, and then I've got a little chalk bag here, which I'll use for anything on the pull-up bar as well as barbell movements. That's pretty much it. So right now I park my car elsewhere, but when I'm doing my workout, I just move my car from inside the garage to out there, and then all I have to do is move that mat back and forth. So not too hard to kind of get myself set up for a workout. Anyways, that's my little garage gym. See you later.